video here with some moving parts. So let me go through the parts. What's on display now is the DroneBlocks simulator in a browser tab. And we're going to see the drone in that simulator move in response to commands from the EEC. So the EEC is running as a program in my IDE, and I'm going to restart the EEC so that I'm fresh, with no hidden features enabled. So let me put the camera on view. So there's the EEC, and I'm going to use my finger to reset. And then in the bottom there, you see the startup messages that the IDE is telling us. And then you also see the messages that the OLED display is telling us. And we just restarted the EEC because I didn't get a Wi-Fi address quickly enough in terms of my timer that I have on making the connection. So every now and then it needs like one or two starts to make this happen. But eventually I should get an address that's connected to my local Wi-Fi. So that seems to be the third restart, which is kind of on the high side. There we go. But eventually I do get an address. And we see that address reflected on the OLED display and the IDE. And so now I haven't done anything yet. So what I'm going to do now, off camera, I'm going to connect my gamepad, it's a PS4. I'm going to connect that to the EEC. So I'm pressing the home button on the PS4, and we're waiting for that gamepad to be connected. And there we see messages on the OLED and in the serial monitor that the DualShock 4, which is the PS4, has been connected to my EEC. Now I'm going to start the Python. And in fact, let me clear the screen. And then let me run the program that actually does the talking to the simulator, which is the controller DBSim.py. So now it's listening for packets on the port that it's running on my Wi-Fi, my local Mac Wi-Fi 192.168.1.199. And so I'm still connected. My Bluetooth is on. And now I want to run some commands from the gamepad directly. So the first command I'm going to issue is the takeoff command. And you see the processing of the Python in the left part of the screen, and you see the drone now having taken off. And then I'm going to use the left D-pad button to go left. I'm going to use the vertical up D-pad button to go forward. I'm going to use the right D-pad button to go backward, or right side, rightwards rather, and then I'm going to use the back button to go backwards, and then I'm going to land. So, so far so good. Nothing has gone wrong. And in the middle of all this, I can clear the simulator by clicking reset. So I'm clicking reset. So the simulator is reset. And then my Python remains active. My EEC remains active. So I can go and do some commands again. So I can go up. I can take off. Then I can go up. Then I can spin around. I can spin around again. I can spin around again. I can spin around again. And then I can even do a flip. So I'm going to, it's the paddle button on the right side of the gamepad. I'm going to do a flip. I think I'm going to do a flip. Oh, I'm sorry. So it's the left paddle button, not the right paddle button. So there I go. I did a flip. I did a backwards flip. And then now I'm going to do a land. So again, so far so good. Nothing's disconnected. I'm still talking to the simulator. I'm going to reset the simulator graphical view. But now I'm going to run a mission that I have programmed into the EEC. And this is going to be to run a circle flight, as you'll see when I launch the mission. The mission is bound to the right joystick button on the gamepad. So it's again, now I'm not controlling things from the gamepad. I just launched the mission, and we're going around in the beginning of the circle. Now we're going around again and finishing the circle. And then now we're going to auto land because that's what's in the mission script. And now this is where things fail. And what's happening now is that I've maxed out the core that's running the BluePad connection, and I've disconnected from the EEC itself. And now the EEC is trying to recover, and we see the recovery messages inside of the serial monitor. And again, it'll retry multiple times to try to reestablish Wi-Fi connection to the same network I was talking to earlier. And there finally we've made the connection. I haven't been showing the camera view, but let's put the camera view back on. So now I'm consistent with what I see in the IDE. And I haven't closed down the Python yet, so the Python is still running over there in the left side of the screen. And now, once I reconnect the gamepad has been disconnected because of that reboot. And so I'm going to press the home button on the gamepad and wait for the Bluetooth to be connected again. And then now I am connected again, and I can resume the actions that I was doing. So I can clear the simulator, and I don't want this to go on for too long. So I'm just going to do a very simple take off and land. So again, not through a script, but through gamepad action. So I'm going to use the takeoff button on the gamepad. And you see the gamepad being sent. Actually, I can show maybe a little bit of the screen on the EEC. So let's maybe put the EEC on view. So there's the EEC on view. And so we see the fact that the takeoff was okay. And how can I go back and forth here? So I've taken off, and then now I am going to issue the command up. And so the up command was issued, and you saw a little bit on the simulator that it did respond with an up, so that you see that I'm now up in the air. And now I'm going to go left with the D-pad again. So I went left, and then the command was processed, and left OK. So again, that's what's happened over here. So now let me go right to get back to where I came from. And then now let me land using the land button, which is the upper left shoulder. And now I've landed. And so now I'm back on the ground again. And now I didn't disconnect because I wasn't flying a mission. So I'm going to document some of this with some static shots and then use this to finish off the text part of Chapter 12 dealing with the DroneBlocks simulator.